Hello and welcome to the Cozy Colorful Corner. Today I'm continuing my Balletcore series and I'm making some lacy tank tops. One element of Balletcore clothing is ribbons and lace, which I discovered was very much lacking in my wardrobe currently. So it's time to remedy that. In my last video I made this really cute wrap top, linked down below. And since then I've been really wanting to wear a lace tank top under it, like so. Tank tops are just such a perfect layering piece, so I decided to make my own. Stick around in this video, and I'll be sharing my favorite tips for sewing stretch fabrics. Let's get started! To start, first I need to draft my tank top. I chose one I already had in my closet that I know fits my body really well, and I'm just going to copy that onto the paper. I'm folding it in half because this way when I open it up, it'll be more symmetrical. Then I'm just going to take my rulers and straighten out the shape. And then I'm adding a 1/2 inch seam allowance all the way around. I'm not adding seam allowance to the center back because I'm just going to put it on the fold of the fabric and there won't be a seam there anyways. Then I'm cutting it out and tracing it again onto another piece of paper. The first one I did was for the back, this one will be for the front. The patterns are nearly the same, but I'm lowering the neckline in the front. And we cut that out too. And I'm just labeling my paper. And I have my front and back pattern piece. Then I'm using my cheapest fabric I have to cut and test the pattern. I'm making sure to fold my fabric in half and lining up that center back and center front fold with the fold of the fabric. Then with right sides together, I'm seaming up the shoulder seam and the side seams. And I'm making sure to use a zigzag stitch for knit fabrics like this. If you use a straight stitch, it's only going to pop when the fabric stretches. So here is draft 1 of my tank top. I haven't hemmed it yet. I like where the neckline is. I think the front and the armholes are perfect. I do want to de-scoop right here a little bit so it can cover my bra. But overall fit is good. I'm also happy that the fabric stretches enough. The pattern I copied it from was a rib knit, which is much more stretchy than a regular knit, but it still fits perfectly, so that's good to know. After I try it on, I'm just going to make some adjustments to my pattern piece, and now I have draft 2, an even better version. For my next tank top, I really wanted to use this pretty blue fabric, but I realized it was too short and I didn't have enough. So I'm going to piece together this tank top. I marked a line to go under the bust, and I folded the pattern along there. On the fabric, I only traced what's above the bust line. Because I'm creating another seam, I have to add another 1/2 inch of seam allowance, and I'm doing the same for the back. Here I made a silly mistake. I realized when I folded my fabric, it wasn't matching, so when I cut out my pattern, I was missing this huge scoop of the shoulder. So what I ended up doing to fix that was add a seam in the back as well. And because I added another seam, I have to add another 1/2 inch of seam allowance. And here are all my pieces lined up together. I also thought it might be cute to add this black strip of fabric under the bust line, since I have a seam there anyways. This could then lengthen the tank top, so I measured my waist and cut some strips. Then I'm using this bright blue fabric to create another tank top. This time I definitely had enough fabric for the full piece, and I didn't need to piece it together. Now I've cut all my fabric, it's time to sew them together. First I'm sewing the back seam. Then with my serger, I'm attaching all the front pieces together and all the back pieces together. Last I'm going to sew up the shoulder seam and the side seam. Now is the fun creative part. I have this box of laces. Half of them I bought when I was making my wedding dress, so they're white. And some of them, like this blue one, I've dyed. time to mix and match. Here's some behind the scenes for you. I basically pulled out all my fabrics and laces in order to mix and match them, and I have another disaster. Be honest, is it really possible to be creative without making a little mess? Once on my mannequin, I wasn't really feeling this light blue piece. I don't know, something about the contrast, or I don't know, the laces just didn't work. So I ended up unpicking the black waistband and just resewing it without it. Once that was done, I went to the iron and I pressed all my seams flat. To keep this waistline flat, I'm just adding another seam on top here. This stitch will help keep this seam flat. Then it was looking much better on my mannequin. I decided to scrap the black and blue concept. It was just a little bit too Cinderella. Don't get me wrong, I love my Disney princesses, but I just knew I wouldn't wear it. Because I was working with so many different needles and colors of thread and fabrics, half my day was spent just rethreading my machine. Using a twin needle, I hemmed my armholes and my neck hole. Also, while I had my twin needle in my machine, I just hemmed up the bottom as well. I thought it would be really cute to ruche the front of the top, so I'm taking some elastic and pinning the top and bottom. The first time it went through the machine, the elastic didn't catch on the top part, so I'm just redoing it again. If you're a beginner, I would always recommend using more pins, but here I'm stretching the elastic as it goes under the presser foot, and this way you get a ruched look. It's hard to see on camera, but I'm using my fingers, and I can see the bump of the elastic, so I'm just angling that perfectly so that it can go under and catch the elastic on the other side. Since it didn't catch on the first round, I made the elastic a bit longer, so I could hold it as I'm sewing, and at the end I just trimmed off the top of it. Next, I'm sewing the lace that I'm going to use for the neckline. Folding it in half, I sew at a diagonal and snip off that corner. When I open it up, I've created a V shape. To give it a bit of extra security so it doesn't come undone, I'm just doing a zigzag stitch down that V shape right there. Since the thread is white, it won't be noticeable. Then I pinned on my lace where I want it to sit on the neckline, and I'm also adding this really cute flower lace to the ruching part. I'm doing a zigzag stitch here as well, just so the lace lays flatter. Then I'm sewing the lace to the neckline. On the inside, I'm just cutting off the excess. Let me show you a cool magic trick. These heat erasable pens have changed my life. To mark where I wanted the lace, I used a red pen, heat erasable of course, and when you're done sewing, you just take it over to the iron, and voila, it's disappeared. The easiest tank top I made was the bright blue one. Using the serger, I sew up the shoulder seam, the side seams, and I also went around the neckline and the armholes. This is a nice trick to get an even hemline. So when I press it, I just turn up the part that's been serged, and then you have a perfect hemline. Right on that edge, I'm adding this really cute black lace. If you want to, you can hem around the whole thing first and then add the lace, but I'm just doing it all in one stitch. To make sure it lays flat as well, I went around again with a zigzag stitch. This way the lace didn't flip up. One thing to keep in mind, when you add the lace, it's going to prevent the fabric from stretching. So if you have a small armhole or neck hole and you stitch it up, it could feel really tight on your arms, or you may not be able to get it on over your head. Only one of the tank tops I made had this problem, and I'll point it out later when we get to it. When I come around to the end of my armhole, I overlap the lace just a little bit and then I trim it off. When I do the zigzag stitch to keep it flat, it'll stay in place and you won't really notice that transition. I'm also keeping the transition points at places you won't really notice, such as directly in the armpit or in the shoulder seam or in the very back. The navy fabric that I used to make my first draft of the tank top turned out pretty well, so I decided to also add lace to it. This is a lace that I had dyed before, and because the color bleeds a little bit, I thought it would be great to add to this navy fabric. If I added it to like a white tank top, it would definitely bleed onto the white fabric. I got maybe a quarter of the way through the neckline and realized I had put it on the wrong side of the fabric. So I unpicked and restarted. I didn't film myself cutting this black tank top because I thought it would be redundant, but here I am experimenting with attaching lace with my serger to the neckline and armhole. For this one, I did the right side of the lace to the right side of the fabric, and then using my iron, I pressed that up. This worked wonderfully at the neckline, but because I didn't hem this before, I just added it directly to the raw edge. My armhole is essentially smaller than in my other tank tops. It would be fine if the lace was elastic, but like I said earlier, creating that straight seam onto a stretch fabric essentially stops it from stretching, so this armhole was way too tight for me. I didn't notice this initially when trying it on at the end of this video, but after about 10 minutes of wearing it, I decided I'm gonna go back and remove that. But I'll have to save that for another day because I've already finished making this video. Then to keep the lace laying flat and to help it not flip up, I'm just doing a straight stitch, say that 5 times fast, about 1/8 of an inch away from this seam here. Then finally, just using a twin needle to hem the edge of the bottom of the tank tops. Before you hem, I recommend pressing it flat so that it's easier. With knit fabrics, don't pull it as it goes under the machine. This will stretch the fabric and make the hem wavy. Just let the feed dogs naturally pull it under the presser foot. My bright blue tank top ended up being a little bit wavy. I think this is because my stitch length was too short. Another way to prevent this from happening is to use your tester fabric and make that go through first and see how wavy the fabric is. From there, you can adjust the tension before you sew on your actual fabric. I'm being a bit lazy here though, and I didn't do that. I don't mind the imperfection though, because I think I'll be wearing this tank top mostly tucked under skirts and things, so it won't be really visible anyway. To the bright blue tank top, I wanted to attach a cute little black bow to the front, so I just got a strip of black fabric, folded it in half, ran that through my serger, turned it inside out, pressed it flat, and it's ready to go. Now onto the hand sewing part. For the light blue tank top, I did ruching with an elastic, but this time I'm just going to create a little pinch using my needle and thread. Then for the black bow, I tie it, and I don't want it to fray at the end, so I'm going to use some tools to turn that under and then just stitch up the bottom. Because it was so skinny, I had a bit of a hard time turning it under, but we got it done. Last, I place my bow and just go back and forth a few times through the fabric to attach it. And she's done! I had a little bit of remaining lace, so for the navy tank top, I wanted to also add a bow. I sewed it into a circle shape and then pressed it down and stitched it. This gave me a long bow shape. It wasn't my favorite, so then I folded it again at the edges to create this effect where it looks like it's 2 bows. And then I just stitched it all down. For my black tank top, I kept it simple and just did a little pinch ruche. And here's all my creations together. Here's the blue one I made. I put lace on the armhole and the neck hole. And I also attached this little bow and ruched just a little bit here to give it kind of this V-neck. And here's what it looks like with the wrap top. I love how this one turned out. This is one of my favorite fabrics. It's really stretchy, but it like holds me in tight. So here I also did the ruching and I added lace here. Again, on this black one, the armhole is too tight with that lace, so I'm just gonna remove it later. Or maybe what I'll do is keep it on the top at the shoulder seam and get rid of it under the arm. That way I can have an elastic armhole and it will fit perfectly. So this is the first tank top I made. This is my cheapest fabric, so it's what I used to make the draft to make sure the pattern fit. And it did, so I just continued to use it I just added this purple lace and I attached this little bow. I thought about attaching it to the middle, but I tried something different and just put it over here. Here's the blue one I made. I added lace just here and I ruched in the middle here and I put some flowers on it. The color is divine. Don't judge me, it's late at night and I want to wear my PJ pants. Really thank you so much to my new subscribers. Since my last video, I've hit over 100. I'm just really excited anyone wants to join me. I still have so many things I want to make, so join me in my next video where I'll make even more romantic and wearable clothing. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for when I release new videos.